Share. Hello everybody and welcome. We're going to be sharing this live to our pages to get all of our followers, so all of our followers can tune in. We are live, so I'm going to share. Here we go. There we go. You can hear all the quietness. Mine done.
Ooh.
Yep. All right. Guys, let me know when you have yours done.
I'm waiting to see it.
Oops.
Is it there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I probably should have.
Are you on Carla's page?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you share it, Asia? I'm working on it.
They're sharing it. We're going to be, my name is Carla Berlin from Around Town TV, and I'm letting them get the video here on our pages shared to their pages so that all of our viewers can tune in and all of their followers and musicians can tune in as well. Around Town TV is the longest airing TV community showcase. Known as Minnesota's lifestyle and business experts, we have been featuring Minnesota's best kept secrets and businesses since 2003. And it's just a pleasure to have with me tonight these two. Did you guys get your share?
We're struggling.
They're struggling. Were you able to get?
I think she got it.
It's on mine.
Okay. Did you get it to your?
To Twin Cities
I'll
Symphony.
do it to that. Did you get it to your?
No,
You have
I'm
to do it
still
to the
not finding
page.
it.
Okay.
Oh. Do you want me
It's-
to see? You've got. Do you have Carla Jean Berlin versus Carla Berlin? I have two
it's
profiles.
Carla Jean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Do you have to freshen it? Go down. I'll go all the way. No, it'd be at the top.
Yeah, it's not there.
Freshen.
I don't
You can maybe
know.
share from my page.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yep, we know we're on. We're just getting it all set so all the viewers and followers. It's always good to have the peanut gallery, make sure that we know what's going on. As we have people tuning in, we do have a few people live on the air with us right now. Tonight, we're going to be talking about enchanting lives, creating growth, and making music with the Twin Cities Symphony. And you're going to learn a little bit more about what the Twin Cities Symphony is. But we're going to also find out what inspired them. We're going to learn more about the CEO and founder and the COO here in a minute. And we're going to find out about some upcoming events and a little bit more about where you can go to follow them, watch them, and even support them. And I think she's still getting, we're almost there, but we'll be getting into it here in a moment.
We're musicians.
Yeah, is
not
there anything I
techies.
can do to help or no?
I'm just trying to tag Susan right now.
Oh,
But
okay.
maybe I'll go back and do that after.
Yeah, you might have to.
It's finding a different Susan for me.
Well, of course it is. That's how it always works when you're live on the air. You know, something will pop up and it's right there, and then all of a sudden. So, for those of you not familiar, the CEO and founder with me is Asia Majkrzak. I said it right.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
That's it.
And we have Susan Miranda,
Hi.
correct?
Yes.
Who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Twin Cities Symphony.
That is correct, yeah.
And so, Susan, for those who aren't familiar, we live in the Twin Cities where there's a ton of musicians and theater and culture and arts. But for those who aren't familiar, what is the Twin Cities Symphony?
Yeah, I will actually let Asia, since she's our founder, I'll let her
Okay.
answer the
Yep,
question.
that was good timing. Yeah,
Done being.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah.
So this idea actually originated from knowing that myself and many of my colleagues drive 4, 5, 6 hours to neighboring states to perform in orchestras.
Mm-hmm.
And while there are opportunities here, we go to these places so that we can get paid to do our work. And this is what we've gone to school for, what we've trained for, and to play with other top-notch musicians in other neighboring states. And I just thought, well, why don't we have something like that here? We do have Minnesota Orchestra and the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, two phenomenal groups. Jobs aren't always available, just
Right.
many people in other industries, their dream job isn't always available, and they kind of have to, do other things until.
Yeah. Right.
But I also think, first off, it's not safe to be driving
no.
that much. I would go to Sioux City, Iowa for a 7:30 rehearsal, finish up at 10 p.m. and drive back to St. Paul, and then work the next day. And
And with our winters and the snowstorms and the
Oh, yeah.
weather,
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
have that on top of it as well.
Yeah.
So,
Snow tires helped with that.
well, they usually do.
Yeah.
But
Didn't
still.
have those the first year I was doing that.
Oh my gosh. Well, and we're going to keep learning a little bit more about Twin Cities Symphony. And I have with me Asia Majkrzak and Susan Miranda, the CEO and founder and the Chief Operating Officer. But let's learn, because their backgrounds are so incredibly impressive, it'll make more sense. So if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about your background and your education with our viewers.
Sure. Or would you like to go first?
Yeah,
I
sure.
just talked a ton.
No, that's fine.
No, yeah.
So I'm an oboist, and I started, my family has a background in classical music. So I kind of started as soon as I was a family member, and my dad is a phenomenal cellist and baritone singer and pianist, and my grandmother went, to get her master's in music performance when she was 80.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
just kind of incredible. Yeah.
That says a lot. It's never too late.
Yes.
It's never too late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's actually a couple of professional musicians in my family, which is kind of exciting and fun and different.
Kind of exciting. That's outstanding.
It is. It
Wow.
is, yeah.
And what do they think about everything you're doing with Twin Cities Symphony?
I think they're really excited. We just actually had a family wedding, and all of us played or sang or both. And so that was really fun to, be able to share kind of everything that we do and give back and just make, it really is a full family experience.
Oh.
So they're really excited. They're very, very supportive. So
Well, and
That's
I was
really
trying to
fun.
find some videos and things to show on the page, and we will. This isn't going to be, hopefully, their last time on the show. You're going to see this whole thing evolve, but that's outstanding. And I have such an affinity for music. I played the clarinet, and I played, but only through 9th grade, and then I had to take a foreign language. And then I also did play piano, and my piano teacher probably is watching and follows me on Facebook. And I'll never forget, in it was like 6th grade, I gave it up for baton, which was my talent that I performed, and that was my love. And she said to me, "What do you think you're going to be doing when you're 80? Twirling the baton or playing the piano?" And I said, "Well, twirling the baton." Well, she actually found me when I was doing Dancing with the Twin Cities Celebrities, and I'm trying to do splits at age 47. She's like, "You were kidding." And I'm like, "Oh no, I pulled my hamstring. You were right." And now it's too late. It's never too late. So that says a lot.
that is so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your background, Asia.
Sure. So I also grew up in a musical family. I think Susan and I are very lucky to have that background because I actually asked to play violin when I was 4.
Wow.
And coming from that background, both my parents were like, "Okay, let's find out how we can do this." And that's not everyone's story in my circle, in Susan's circle. There are some really incredible musicians that came out of a family of complete non-musicians. So
Wow.
we are kind of an abnormality, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize your family also. Tell me a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, so my parents met in a band. Yeah.
I've known Asia for a long time.
Yeah, my parents met in a band. My dad plays guitar, bass, drums. I don't know what he was playing in the band at the time that they met. My mom is a singer, pianist, violist, French horn. Yeah. Composer. She's a composer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You both it really is in
Yeah,
the
it
genes.
is.
It's in our blood.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really cool to have grown up in that kind of environment. When I was, I think 5 was my first public performance with the family band. Yeah.
Oh, and then you later in life you did get your undergrad in music performance, right, at the U of M, and then your master's in music performance at Louisiana State. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. And aren't you currently, or is this now your baby? But you were performing in other orchestras, like you said. You had to travel to Sioux City. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm still principal second violin in the Buffalo Community Orchestra, which
Awesome.
if some of you are watching, I don't know.
Yeah.
But hi, can't wait to start rehearsals after Labor Day.
Yay. Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
Well, and I'm going to do a quick shout out. We have Rachel Anderson, Kate, Ruth, and we have Spence, all of you who are watching, and my mom, Sandy, of course, is watching. Hello to all of you who are online. We really appreciate you tuning in. My name is Carla Berlin with Around Town TV, and I am lucky enough to have a special guest with me tonight from the Twin Cities Symphony, which we'll learn more about, and we're going to learn more about both of them. But I have Asia Majkrzak, who is the CEO and founder right here, and Susan Miranda, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Twin Cities Symphony. And we're just learning a little bit more about them, which I would love to continue, but like I said, we'll be checking in. We do have a good group online. Hi to CW as well, who's tuned in. But yeah, so if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit more too about some of the things you've done as a musician, and kind of, then we'll get into a little bit more what inspired you with this. But I just know you both have such impressive backgrounds.
Yeah.
These people need to know.
Yeah,
You weren't just
absolutely.
two blondes that decided to
Right.
start the Twin Cities Symphony. There's a little bit more there.
Yeah, so I guess my performing experience has gotten much more diverse as my career has kind of started. It really started in grad school down in Louisiana. We had two orchestras near the area that were kind of like what we're trying to start here. So it was really nice to have that professional experience while I was still in school. But since moving back to Minnesota, I've performed in La Crosse, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sioux City, Iowa. Many places, but I've done, I traveled to Havana, Cuba with Charanga Tropical.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we were the first American band to be invited to their International Dance Zone Festival. So that was
Wow.
an experience. Some of the best mangoes I've ever had. It was peak mango season.
Wonderful.
I've also played with two cellos recently when they were in town. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, got to do a show with Foreigner in Duluth. Recently,
I didn't even
know.
know you were so young when Foreigner was like the cool band when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I could be their mom, so yeah. Oh.
But yeah, so I've done I've had a lot of diverse musical experiences, and it's been really fun to try to figure out, how to play salsa music.
Right.
Or how to, pageants kind of prepared me for this, but the Trans-Siberian Orchestra was like, you have to smile while you're on stage.
Right.
The biggest difference is, at pageants, they don't allow fire.
Right.
The finale for this show, there were like giant shoots of fire that came up right in front of my face. They didn't warn me about that, and it was so hot.
Oh.
I could feel my eyes watering, and I was trying so hard to still
Keep
smile.
Oh.
The violist sitting behind me made fun of me for that, and I was like, "Hey, you try being this close to the fire."
Oh, absolutely. And I twirled fire, so I know what that's like. And it's just, and for those of you maybe, like when you're a kid, you play with it and you stick your finger there. It is. And when
It's
you're with
hot.
all of that, what inspires a 4-year-old, or how does a 4-year-old go to their parents and say, I want to do this?
Yeah, so I'm also a Suzuki teacher, and Suzuki is all about the young start. I grew up in the Suzuki method and got trained later. But the biggest thing is that kids like to emulate the people that they admire. So that's kind of how these musical families start and continue to grow little baby musicians that decide to make it their career. But I was 4, and I saw this older girl that I really liked to hang out with because she was older. She performed at church, and I was like, I want to be like Audrey.
Oh.
And
does
yeah.
she know that? Does she know she inspired you?
She might. We took lessons with the same teacher for several years, and then switched to another same
I
teacher.
hope she's watching, so she can.
I hope she is too. We actually
Yeah.
haven't connected. I might have to reach out to her again.
Well, and
It's been a long
I
time.
met Asia in the Miss America program, and many years ago, followed her journey through from Miss Minnesota to Miss Louisiana. Of course, a standout in her talent, but also just in every aspect of competition. Intelligent, beautiful, athletic fitness was a big part. We've shared a lot of that, and we have a lot of the same feelings towards the program, and we both, I know, have embraced it and what it's done for us. And but it's been fun to get to know her outside of that too, and just watch what you've done and what you're doing. And of course, we'll get into more of Twin Cities Symphony and the greatness.
Yeah.
Let's also hear a little bit more about your background.
Sure. So, I told you about my family, but I actually began playing the piano at a young age, and think, first or second grade.
Wow.
And I really didn't like it. I
See,
loved,
Mom?
I know, right? I loved my piano teacher and I adored her, but I would come home and my dad, who was a phenomenal pianist, would be there, and it was one of those things where I think it's almost the opposite of what you said. I was like, oh my gosh, you're so good. I can't do this like you. And it wasn't until I was 5th grade and it was time to pick your band instrument. And that's actually kind of a funny story because a girl that I saw at the babysitters that I was at played the clarinet. And so I had told my parents, oh, that's a really cool instrument. And my mom was a flute player, and I said, I don't want to, hold something up to the side of me. I really like the way the clarinet looks. And she immediately was like, oh boy, clarinets squeak, and they, And so she said, Susan, there's this instrument that looks a lot like the clarinet, and it's an oboe, and you will be one of the only ones playing it, and it's harder, and you'll get all the solos. And I said, yeah, I want that one. So it's my mom's fault.
Oh, that's really neat, though.
Isn't that fun? Yeah.
And I know what that's like when you're picking your instrument, because you really can pick.
Yes.
And I was like, drums or clarinet? I mean, yeah.
How do you choose? Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And I didn't have the guidance you did, other than, there are some musicians in my family, piano teachers and things, but my parents aren't singers, they're not performers, they don't have any of that musical background, they're athletes. It's a little different, so, of course they supported me. Whatever instrument, you want to play them all, go ahead. And, yeah, but I didn't have that type of following, so I can understand that admiration you must have had for your dad.
Yes, I still do.
Yeah, well, of course, yes, yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so then what I'm kind of doing now is very different than many musicians grow up thinking they're going to do. Many of us think, I'm going to go to this conservatory, and then I'm going to audition, and then I'm going to get into an orchestra, and then life is going to be grand. And that is just not really how it works.
Right.
And unfortunately, very few people are teaching other options. And so I'm actually an entrepreneur, and that is kind of what I focus on, is what else could I do, and how could I help you to do this, and all of those things. So I actually built my studio in the Twin Cities, my oboe studio, and so I have a very healthy oboe studio, which is fantastic and very exciting. And I rushed here after teaching an oboe student tonight, so that was super fun. But also, I have founded a number of ensembles.
Ah,
yeah, so a couple years ago, I actually founded a woodwind quintet named COO, and that's CHIONE. And Kion is the goddess of winter winds.
Oh, very
If that
nice.
makes sense for a
Yes.
Minnesota group.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are actually a group of women who come together and play phenomenal woodwind quintet repertoire. And just in 2 years, we've performed live on Classical Minnesota Public Radio. We got a phenomenal grant to where we did outreach in 35 libraries in rural Minnesota.
Wow.
And we are going to start the Class Notes program through Minnesota Public Radio, and we are doing outreach in various schools throughout Minnesota.
And are you available for hire?
Absolutely.
So if
All
someone
the
wants to
things.
get a hold of you for
Yeah.
teaching and performing, how do they do that?
So my studio is Chromatic Fusion,
Okay.
and I have a website. Kion has a website, KionQuintet.com, so CHIONE Quintet.com, and all of our information is on those websites.
Ah,
And
fantastic.
one of my more exciting newer things that I'm doing, which is a very unconventional chamber group, and we're kind of saying that we're really revolutionizing chamber music, is Mother Move. And we will actually be performing at our upcoming Micropops party, which is one of our fundraisers coming up for Twin Cities Symphony. But this is an ensemble of oboe, harp, and a dancer, or mover, she likes to call herself.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, and I'm going to interrupt you guys. I want to say hello because we have several people online to Ann Pritchard, who had written us. She said, looking beautiful ladies, that's awesome, cool, yes, always smile. So that was back a little bit here when we were talking. Hi to Lori, hi to Tony, hi to Kate, hi to Chris, hi Jennifer. Jennifer was involved in the Miss America program and actually taught me how to do my hair.
Oh, nice.
And I was competing from Cottage Grove. Hi, Ruth just said, cool. James is online. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Carla Berling. from Around Town TV, I have the CEO and founder of the Twin Cities Symphony, Asia Majkrzak, and the COO, Susan Miranda, and we're learning a little bit more about their phenomenal professional backgrounds and how you can reach them. We've also been touching on Twin Cities Symphony. We're going to go there and learn a little bit more of some of the other stuff too, but I didn't want to, I did interrupt you, and once you're done, I'd like to also, for people, because I know you're available too, I want to learn a little bit more on how people can reach you, but I interrupted, but I just want to, I knew people were writing and I didn't want to get too far away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in and saying hello.
Yes, we're really appreciative of all of you that are online tonight, and I knew with when it rained, I thought, oh good, it's, oh, and did you vote? She did.
Oh, my hair is voting right now.
Yep, so if you voted or you're watching this, maybe you couldn't watch this live and you're watching this later, if you have any questions or comments and you're not comfortable publicly posting, you can reach out to us and I will tag everybody here privately and we will get back to you. So don't hesitate to privately reach out either.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or go to our pages. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So Mother Move is a trio, an unconventional trio, if you will, of harp, oboe, and a mover. And we had our very first performance in June, and we did some outreach at elementary school with some first graders. And the exciting thing about this ensemble for me is that we are all mothers, which my quintet is phenomenal, and we're all an just extraordinary group of women. But it's a little different when you get to work with women who also have children, and a couple of us don't have helpers in our life, and so it's really neat when people understand that. And oh, my kid's coming to rehearsal. Well, that's great. I'm bringing mine too. So that's really fun, and we're really excited to come play at Micropops. Did you? Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say, did you want to talk about?
Yes, that was going to be
who
one
else is playing at Micropops.
Yes, but before we get into Micropops and who else is playing, if someone wants to reach out to you, are you available for teaching and performing? And how do they do that?
So my ideal student is 5 or younger. And I have a website, violiningasia.com. You can also find me on Instagram, but you might find more food and cats on Instagram than
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I did. Yep, I did when I was looking. Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of food, lots of cats.
Oh.
But yeah, violiningasia.com.
Okay.
Yeah, you can reach out to me there.
Wonderful, and we're glad you voted to Anne, and hi to Shannon, one of my friends in the media world. So we are with Asia Majkrzak. It's a mouthful.
You can call me Aha, too.
Yeah, and Susan Miranda. We're talking Twin Cities Symphony. One of the things I know you have coming up is your Micropops party on Monday, August 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Urban Eatery in Minneapolis. But let's talk about what the purpose of this party is for and a little bit more about that.
Sure.
Okay.
So this idea really stemmed from doing Pops concerts with full orchestra. And a good friend of mine, Lindsay Bordner, is also in the orchestra, a violinist. Worked on cruise ships and arranged her own pop music for a string quartet. And we read through a few of those arrangements and I was like, well, this is way more fun than doing it with a full orchestra, with a smaller ensemble. It's so much more interactive and less like, I don't know, fewer people have to do more things, I guess. And we're musicians, we like to do things.
You want to be more involved. Okay.
Yeah, so this is our version of a Pops concert. We won't do them as a full orchestra ever. Okay. So we ask chamber ensembles from the orchestra to perform.
Wow.
30-minute sets of kind of whatever they want, but Pops related. We have, oh boy,
You mentioned a few.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have Mother Move. I'm playing with my friend Devin. We don't have a name for our duo yet.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I asked her what her duet name was. Oh, Devin and Asia. Or Asia and Devin.
Yeah. He had the idea of deja vu something.
Oh,
I think that could work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Suggestions are welcome.
That'd be great.
Well, and they can go to your Facebook page, right?
Absolutely.
To see. I know they've been posting who is performing and a little bit more about that, and it is just Twin Cities Symphony.
Yeah. So we have our 2 ensembles. Roma Duo is a cellist and violinist that are also in the orchestra. Delphia Cello Quartet is an all-female cello quartet. I dabble a little bit in cello, and some of the most fun stuff I've ever played is cello ensemble.
Oh, wow.
There's someone at the Chicago Suzuki Institute that says nothing sounds bad in cello ensemble. It's true. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the Stone Arch String Quartet, which my friend Lindsay, who I mentioned earlier, is a member of that. So they'll have some really fun music to play. And then Sprig of that is an ensemble of fiddle, tabla, and guitar.
Wow.
Yeah, they have some really cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to all of the groups. I think that's all of them.
Well, and this is kind of a little side question. So I had mentioned just a few minutes ago that I met Asia through the Miss America program, and I've only ever seen you perform violin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what made you choose that? I mean, you obviously can play a lot of different instruments, and musically, what made you choose that instrument?
I'm not that great at the other ones.
I don't believe that. Something tells me, no, you're just that phenomenal at what you do. Yeah.
It's easy well, it's not easy. Nothing about the violin is easy, but it just feels like kind of an extension of my person. And in that sense, it's much easier.
Yes.
The cello is wonderful, and I love it. I don't tell my dad, Mom, but I love to listen to the music really loud in my car, so I can feel the bass.
Yes.
Not good to do as a musician, but here I am. But when you play the cello, it's right up next to you, and you can feel that, and you don't have to deafen yourself in the process. So I really like that about it, but it's like running a marathon. So to all you cellists out there, thank you for doing what you do. You play a wonderful instrument.
Well, and I know you do a lot with classical. What inspires you, or why do you like classical so much?
Yeah, so I believe this is a Shakespeare quote, but I like to think of, I want my theater to bring me to life, to wake me up. Not good at quotes, or apparently who they're by, but it's something to that effect. But people often ask me, what music do you relax to? I'm like, well, it pumps me up. It doesn't really matter. I love hearing how the different instruments work together. Stravinsky wrote a piece called The Rite of Spring, and it starts with the bassoon in this really high range so that it sounded really funny. It doesn't quite sound like a bassoon, and that's always fascinated me. Score study has always fascinated me, the study of what's going on in the orchestra, and hearing like the bassoon and the French horn paired together, or the clarinet and the oboe with a similar line. That just like lights me up, and like, oh, it's just so cool.
Well, and one thing that I've probably never shared with you, I mean, I follow you and I love it, but at one point we did have chamber orchestra tickets, and the St. Paul Chamber, or Minnesota and the St. Paul, and every Christmas we pick something, and we go like Doc Severinsen or a performance, but we just love to listen to the orchestra. That's just something in our family, and it's probably one of the reasons we admire it so much, is because none of us have those talents.
But you could. It's never too late.
Some people don't have talent, or should stick with where their talents lie, and that's certainly, I have the gift of gab, so. Hi to Tammy, Jim, and Chelsea Swigham's online.
Hey, Chelsea.
Thank you for tuning in. We're talking Twin Cities Symphony, and I have the founder and CEO, Asia Majkrzak.
And the
Chief Operating Officer, who did vote, but just took her sticker off, Susan Miranda. Yep. And you know what? We said this earlier, but I'd like to bring this question back. What inspired you to start the Twin Cities Symphony?
Yeah, Susan, would you like to talk about this?
Well,
I guess
it was your idea.
It was my idea.
I should tell them the story about how I got involved.
Yes.
Oh, you should.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then you can retell the other.
Yes.
Good.
So Asia is our founder, and so I cannot claim that. Somebody recently said, "Oh, the co-founder." I said, No. She is the founder, and this is a phenomenal project that I like kind of jumped on board. So for our first Micropops, which we just talked about, the upcoming one, she was actually looking for ensembles to perform, and somebody had suggested my wind quintet, Keon, to perform at the Micropops, and so she reached out to me, and I was really excited and definitely decided, we're definitely going to play. And then I kept thinking about the orchestra and all of the opportunities that that she was looking for, and I just kind of said, here and there I would send her text messages. What if you did this, or how about this? And she's like, yeah.
The entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I love that about you.
With the very first time I just told her all about the stuff that Keon was doing, and she said, you should really join me on this endeavor, and I would really love a partner. And I laughed in her face.
She did?
I laughed at her, and yeah.
And you're here today. Wow.
I did. So I was like, I have so many things going on, and I don't have time for that. And so then I continued filtering her things, and I said, okay, fine, I'm in. We're doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. Great story.
Yeah, I
know for you've said there's a key. When I asked you, what is the Twin Cities Symphony and what inspired you, and you talked about paid musicians and that.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, sharing what it is, so people understand and a little bit with the difference of why you're doing this.
Yeah, so we're a group of emerging professional musicians. There are many of us in the Twin Cities. There's a lot of talent here. The U of M School of Music has a really strong program. I don't have to say that, even though I did come from there.
Right.
But I do truly believe that there are a lot of good musicians there. And why wouldn't we want to keep people here working instead of going to Iowa, Wisconsin, South Dakota? North Dakota might not have anything going on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should go up there.
I was just thinking, yes, exactly. And that makes sense, to have people to be able to play, to be paid for their professionalism, whether it's an athlete. And of course, not everyone's going to play for the Vikings, but there are things athletes can do, and coaching and teaching, which you do. And a lot of the talented musicians do become teachers like you both are, but why not get paid for your love of performing? And instead of, and I know a lot of times people say, oh, can you come and perform, and can you sing here, and can you do this? And people don't realize, you do some of that, but you also have an education. You are trained and should be paid for your professional services. Yeah. Just like, when we do a feature story for Around Town TV, our videographers get paid. They don't do that yes, we do some volunteer work and things too, but that's how they put food on the table and a roof over their head.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that makes perfect sense. We are in a community that is so rich in the arts and theater and music, and I'm sure there are people watching that not only are commenting and are probably going to private message, but if someone wants to not only come and see some of these parties and some of your performances, but they want to support you because you are a nonprofit, correct? How can they support you?
We have a GiveMN page through Springboard for the Arts, so thank you to Springboard for all you do for artists in the Twin Cities. They're actually our fiscal sponsor, which means we have nonprofit status through kind of an umbrella company. So you can go to our Facebook page and click the donate button, and that'll take you to our GiveMN page.
And that's from Facebook. They could do
from
that
Facebook.
too. That's wonderful.
Yep.
Okay.
Our website will be up shortly. We're redesigning.
Perfect.
And we'll have a donate tab there too with a little more information.
Right, but you can find everything you need to know from their Facebook page, and then from the information. In fact, I'll have you give your personal information again, because Asia does have a personal website too, and I know you have ways to contact you as well. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that, your personal page as well.
My website is violiningasia.com. And Susan?
My personal website is chromaticfusion.com, and my quintet's website is Keone Quintet, and that's CHIONE Quintet.com. And right now, Mother Move is on Facebook, and it's MOTHRMOV.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and hi to Catherine and Fred, and we really do appreciate all of you who have been tuning in. For those who kind of jumped in and out or came in at the end, my name is Carla Berlin with Around Town TV, and I have the founder and CEO and the Chief Operating Officer for Twin Cities Symphony here with me tonight, Asia Majkrzak and Susan Miranda, and they've been sharing a little bit about their backgrounds, which is a lot about their backgrounds is amazing, just so impressive, so it makes sense of why they're doing this, but also to allow performers to have this opportunity. They have Micropops party coming up on Monday, August 27th from 6 to 10 at the Urban Eatery.
Yes,
There's some
and
other...
shout out to Urban Eatery. They are sponsoring the buffet.
Yes.
So thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing that.
Oh, that is outstanding. And I have been to another event, and it is, their food is just
it's
really good.
amazing.
Please come, please eat it. I took a lot home last time and it was tasty, but we need you to come eat.
Yeah, come and share in the, just the festivities, the party, the performances, enjoy that. Learn a little bit more about what they're doing. I know you have some other events that you may, coming up in September, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then, what else have we not touched on that you wanted to?
Oh, we will be announcing our music director at the Micropops party.
That's big.
So be there. Be the first to know.
Yes.
Wow, that's outstanding. Hi to Anna and Scipio who just joined us. What else? Anything else that was on the list? Anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to share as well?
Do you want to talk a little bit about September 8th?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I also was going to say, I believe that our new music director will be playing a piece with Asia and myself.
Yeah.
So that could be really fun as well.
I wanted them to play tonight. It's just hard in this setup, but that means you just have to go and support them.
We will
and-
both be playing at
Yeah.
Micropops
Yes.
for sure.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have our very first inaugural performance as Twin Cities Symphony, and that is September 8th. And it's kind of been evolving as we are a musician-led organization. And basically what that means is that we are musicians and we are creating this ensemble. And so we listen to each other because that is very important in the world of classical music, and especially in this type of an ensemble. So it's exciting to have such phenomenal feedback from the musicians in Twin Cities Symphony, and also to be able for us to choose to take that feedback. And I think that's the most exciting part. Did you want to touch any more?
I guess look for more information about September 8th on our Facebook page for now. Website to be coming soon. TwinCitiesSymphony.org is what it will be.
Perfect. And you'll recognize this logo on Facebook, so you know
Yes.
you've got the right page.
Yes.
Right.
But we're doing some different things in our concert. It won't be the standard orchestra concert that you see.
Oh,
So
anything you can share? A little teaser of something different?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we have a mover
Ooh.
performing with us.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll be incorporating more than just musical arts
Oh, love
with our
it.
performance. So there will be some visual aspects.
That's
as
beautiful.
well.
That's
Yeah.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You must just be so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you can sense the passion. And when I first spoke to you about it, being on the show and a guest and sharing all this, I could just sense that. And of course, and she was really excited because they were just announcing you.
Oh.
Yeah. So I got to be in on that.
Yay.
Yeah. So that was fun. That when you join forces and are helping and I know we have kept a consistent amount of people watching, and we do thank you for tuning in and
Thanks
thank you.
Thanks for watching and listening.
yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that I didn't cover or that you want to repeat that you feel needs to be shared? I mean, they're both available for performances, teaching. Of course, for a lot of you that are philanthropic, think about giving back to them and to these musicians. We all know in schools, music is, a lot of the music departments and the arts departments struggle for funding, but then you've got these professional, this organization that can actually employ many top professionals, keeping them here in Minnesota to perform for you. So what an opportunity to be able to give to such a great organization.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, thanks for having us. This
Yeah.
has been just wonderful to be able to have this chat with you.
Honored to have you both on here. I usually just sit and watch Asia perform, so it's fun to sit and talk to her as girlfriends and sing with you and get to know you, and just beautiful inside and out, and what you're doing here in the Twin Cities is pretty impactful. Two impressive young women that are leading the Twin Cities Symphony, and for all of you that are watching. So how cool is that for all of us? For anybody who, and we're getting nice comments and a few others that have joined in, feel free to go to their Facebook page to reach out. You can comment here, you can private message us. I am really excited. Next Tuesday evening FSBO Homes, Woodbury location, the managing partner and owner, Vince Meyer, is going to be my special guest. And when you see FSBO Homes, we think, you know, oh, for sale by owner. Oh, they're going to give you a bunch of signs. No, you get the attorney, you get the 3D tour, the pictures, you get it all. The marketing, they're selling homes faster. This has been, especially in the Iowa and the Nebraska areas, Chicago has been hot, hot, hot. They're here in Minnesota. Another option for you, the average person saves $15,000 in selling their home. Selling it faster, you don't pay the commission, but you get all the services. So please tune in. You will love Vince. So smart, so sharp. Just a great, great person to have here leading us in this the FSBO Homes Woodbury. So that's next Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. live. And before we go, you know, please reach out to them on their Facebook page. Tune in there. Minnesota's Lifestyle and Business Experts. We are proud to be Minnesota's longest airing TV community showcase, bringing you Minnesota's best kept secrets and businesses since 2003. And what an honor I've had tonight to be able to bring you the Twin Cities Symphony. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Carly.
Oh, you're welcome. And we'll see you next time on Around Town TV.